Are we having fun yet? That could be the question of the day. Well, Tex and Tesla are rebounding this morning. Uh, don't count on that continuing. It might, but it's certainly not a sure thing. There was absolutely nothing shocking about the pullback yesterday. When you are screaming as you go down the first leg of a major roller coaster, you don't have a thought about the inevitability of that fall and of the physics related to it. But I called this pullback, if not the intensity in a single day. And I wouldn't be surprised, as I said, to see us go down and test 225. But the tech stocks were all down very heavily in what's now being called a rotation, even though it was a single day's data point. I think it's really too early to call that, but I continue to believe that we will see a 5 to 10% pullback in the overall S&P. And I started calling for a rotation about, I don't know, 6 months ago, 5 months ago. I was pretty early on that call, but I'm not 100% sure we're seeing that rotation take place now. It may not happen, or it may not happen now. So I would need to see, as the Fed chair likes to say, I would like to see a lot more data points before I'm going to make that call. Also, as I stated yesterday, the 8.8 rumor was just an excuse. When will we get back to 265? That's a whole nother issue, and I suspect it will be announcement driven, but not about the 8.8 date. That's not going to cause the stock to go back up to 265 if we find out that it's actually in July after all. Just not going to happen, because that's not what caused the bulk of what happened yesterday. It just doesn't matter. It has zero to do. The 8.8 timing has nothing to do, or whether it's on 8.8 or on 10.8 or what day it is, has nothing to do with the fundamentals of the Tesla robotaxi program or anything else that Tesla's planning for the rest of this year. We're very likely to hear an update soon on all of this, but I think it will have zero impact on the stock. But tell me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. Am I getting this wrong? The fundamentals are still there. We've talked about the 7 things that are happening right now that are going to change the world and change Tesla in such a way as it will be unrecognizable 18 months from now. Meanwhile, in addition to the foundations going in at the Reno semi plant, which is pretty exciting to see the foundations actually going in and more steel being delivered, we also have other good news. Tesla has introduced the Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive in the U.S. The starting price is $42,490 prior to the EV credits, and if you take off another $5,000 for the for savings on gas, you get it down to like 29 something, 20 some crazy number. Anyway. 29,990, I guess it is, if you take off that 5,000. So this should be a very good selling car, be the lowest of the Tesla, of all the Tesla vehicles, and, provides another price point, I think, that is going to be useful. All right, so then we have Sawyer Merritt reporting this morning. Citibank has increased their Tesla price target by 50% to 274. They were at 182. And they kept a neutral rating. The analyst has been more constructive on the near-term investor sentiment around Tesla, but says the strong stock run-up adds greater reliance on looming electrical vehicle product and artificial intelligence catalysts. The Q2 delivery beat was also encouraging, which prompts increased estimates and supports Citi's underlying call for improving EV sentiment this summer. However, the firm believes that core EV fundamentals alone are unlikely to support significant further upside from here in Tesla, absent new product and AI catalysts, which of course are coming. If market enthusiasm for AI diminishes, this may impact Tesla's multiple, according to UBS analyst Joseph Spack in a note, cutting their rating to sell from neutral. The downgrade is warranted, given the lack of visibility and the risk that growth opportunities materialize on a longer time horizon, or not at all, the analyst wrote, noting the stock trades at more than 80 times 1 year's forward estimated earnings. Depends on what those estimated earnings are. It would be a lot lower than 80 if you use my earnings estimates. UBS's move mirrors mounting concerns over valuations of company tied to AI tech, as evidenced by the big sell-off on tech yesterday. I think that's nonsense. Tesla is also facing a subdued outlook for electric cars that's weighing on its sales and earnings. The premium that investors ascribe to Tesla for the gamut of initiatives has grown recently as AI enthusiasm increases, and one would need to see an even larger opportunity to justify a buy rating. Now listen to this. After changing from a buy or after going to a sell level, UBS analysts raised their 12-month target on the stock to 197 from 147, which will be an 18% decline from here, Thursday's close, but they employed a higher price-earnings ratio multiple than before to arrive at their new target. So everybody's raising their targets on Tesla. That's like 5 raises this week, I think. Is anybody keeping track? But I think it's 5 people raising their estimates on Tesla this week. Meanwhile, the stock drops 8% on a rumor. No, that's what's going on. Come on. Tesla got out past its skis. What's Randy's #1 rule? If it's way too far out there, there's going to be a correction. Moreover, multiple people, not just me, had mentioned over the last couple of days on X about other evidences, other times when Tesla had gone up like 100% in a very short time period, followed by what? Oh, a big decrease, and sometimes in a single day like yesterday. It was just a matter of some issue, some kind of a rumor or whatever. It just was an excuse in order to start the selling happening yesterday. This was then exacerbated by the tech sell-off. Tesla's sell-off started earlier than the rest of tech. That was because of the rumor. Absolutely, but it was just an excuse. Then the tech sell-off came in. Other tech stocks yesterday were down in a range of 2.5 to up to like 5.5% for NVIDIA. So no, this was not all about Tesla. It was not all about the rumor. It was about technical issues impacting everybody and impacting Tesla more because Tesla had run more recently. Anyway, that's my take. Let me know what you think I got wrong. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. If you haven't hit the like button yet, this is a perfect time to do it. Hit subscribe and notify. By the way, notify, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to have Brian White today. Finally, we recorded it on Monday, but still, there's nothing in there that's not newsworthy. It's a fantastic review of what's going on with Tesla right now in multiple locations. You're going to like it. And then tonight, I'm going to have Brian Wang on Friday night. Because why? Because Larry's on tomorrow morning, where he and I are finally going to get a chance to review Cathie's belated monthly report. So that's going to be exciting tomorrow morning. And then we got Cern Basher, I think, tomorrow. And what a weekend. We got so much stuff lined up. But in the meantime, I don't know if you saw that Tesla Boomer Mama interview that I did, but it's getting a lot of attention. A lot of folks really liked it. I'm very proud of that work, and I think she is as well. You'll want to take that. I'll be putting a card in just a minute. Finally, Patreon, thanks so much for all the folks that have recently joined up on Patreon. I could use some more. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. I could use a couple of more folks joining in at the $50 level. You want to be a major producer? Yeah, that'd be lovely. But you know, $3 is fine. If that's what you can afford, $3 is phenomenal. And if you can't afford anything, just watch the show. That's a blessing. Okay, the producer price index. What happened today with the producer price index? Well, man, I read 3 different articles on it, and I decided not to quote any of them. I went back to the source and used the source material because the 3 different articles all had different takes, different results, different analysis. Quite frankly, the producer price index was a nothing burger, and that's why I think the stock market is not really responding to it. But here you go. The producer price index for final demand advanced 0.2% in June, seasonally adjusted. This would be the headline number. Final demand prices were unchanged in May. We knew that was okay, and increased 0.5% in April. So if you want to look at the 3 months combined, you've got the same thing, about a 0.2%, somewhere in that range, 0.25. On an adjusted basis, the index for final demand rose 2.6% for the 12 months ended in June, and that was higher than what was expected. The street was expecting 2.3. the largest advance since moving up 2.7% for the 12 months ended March 2023. So the producer prices are going up compared to what the street was expecting by a tiny bit. But some of the people that have reported on it had it wrong in terms of some of the stuff there. Anyway, the June rise in the index for final demand can be traced to a 0.6% increase in prices for services. In contrast, the index for final demand goods decreased by 0.5%. So the services and products part of the economy, again, showing this major split. Prices for final demand, less foods, less energy, and trade services were unchanged in June. So 0.0000, that would be I'm forgetting the name of it. Anyway, that would be your core case. That would be your core case. It had a 0.2% advance in May. For the 12 months ended in June, the index for final demand, less foods, energy, and trade services moves up to 3.1%. So that's a little bit surprising as well. So what does that mean? Well, let's talk about a few other things first, then I'll wrap up what I'm seeing. Silver and gold are now near all-time highs. I said I would check on that. They're not quite at all-time highs, but they're right up near them. The dollar also is near recent highs, but it's backed off a bit. Bank earnings are out this morning. They are a mixed bag. The results, to me, seemed like they were more driven by the specifics of each individual bank and what their, how their management and how their customer base is acting at this exact time. I didn't see any trend there, and I don't think anybody else is reporting a trend in that either. I believe we will get a good print on the PCE later this month, but the Fed's decision coming up is way more likely to be based on the next employment report. So that's what you want to watch for. Yeah, I know it's always the next report, right? But no, in this case, I think it's fair. The CPI came in good. The PCE kind of modifies that a little bit, not quite as good. But I think at this point, if the labor issue got out of control, the Fed will cut, even if they're not thinking that inflation is 100% where they'd like it to be. Now, how do I see that? I see that if we come in at 4.1, no cut, maybe not any cut this year, as I've previously suggested. I don't think it's going to be about inflation at this point. It's going to be about those employment numbers. So if we come in at 4.0, 4.1, no cut. No cut July, probably no cut in September. If we hit 4.2, now we got the maybe September cut. If we hit 4.3, I would say there's a cut for sure in September, if not in, probably in September. All right. The GDP number might also have an impact on all this. We get the leading indicators also next week, and that could also play into it, although people have not been paying much attention to that leading indicators index. Not sure why, but that just happens to be true. Okay, where are stocks right now? Let's go take a look. We have got, let's see, we've got to start with the stocks, Randy. We go over here. All right. We have got the Dow. Well, let's start with Tesla. Tesla's up $5.65 at 246.68. So, definitely grabbing back a little bit of that loss yesterday. We have got the Dow Jones up 178, NASDAQ up 118, S&P 500 up 30. So what happened to the rotation? The NASDAQ is certainly, we'll come back to that in a second. We do have Google down a tiny bit, Amazon a bit, Meta down another 1350 today. That's 3%, and not quite 3, almost a 3% after being down heavily yesterday. Microsoft down also, but NVIDIA pulling back a little bit, not a ton, about 1%, 1.5% on their downward trend yesterday. Okay, what's happening at Cathie Woods? They are continuing to enjoy a positive directionality here, with almost all of them up this morning. In fact, PayPal's down 3 cents. Other than that, everybody is up, and up in some cases in pretty good numbers. All right, let's see here. Let's go back and look at the percentages. We have got the Dow up 0.45%, but the NASDAQ is up 0.74. Now, remember, yesterday was down about 2. So it is recovering quite a bit of that downward move yesterday. S&P up 0.58 and Tesla up 2.23 recovering a lot of that 8% drop from yesterday. Okay, let's go ahead and look at what's happening to the bonds. All right, the bonds this morning, we got the 10-year is now up 1.1% at 4.2, 4.203, but let's call it 4.2. The 2-year down 2.2 at 4.483. That puts us under 30 basis points, just changed to 4.481, still under 30 basis points, 28 basis points now. Exactly on the nose, exactly right this minute, 28 basis points. This is breaking under 33 for sure, and now under 30. What does that mean? Well, it should be portending a recession, which I have been predicting in the third quarter. We'll see if that actually takes place. The 2-month is up 3.3. Now, this is going the other direction. And some people think that this 2-month is also indicative, but in this particular case, what you're looking at, it is now 110, 115 basis points, more than that even, 116 basis points, and that is moving upward as opposed to shrinking down. So I don't know, but the 2-month 10-year is not nearly as big a deal as the 2-year 10-year, and that right now is shrinking and is certainly starting to provide some kind of a signal. Now, if it gets to 0 or flips back to positive, that would really tell us something. Okay, let's go ahead and look at what's happening with oils. They were up earlier, still up 76 cents on the Texas Intermediate, 83.39. Brent up not as much, 51 cents. Now that split again is $2.60. That is surprising to see only 2.60. Not sure why it's so. It certainly indicates that nobody's worried about the Middle East right now. Natural gas up 4 cents, but 2.16% at 2.317, starting to recover after several days of being really down. We have got gold down 7, so still sitting at 2,414, so it's very near all-time high. We've got silver off 1.72 at 31.12, but that is also very close to the all-time high. Copper up 1.61 at 4.58, which is right in the middle of its range recently. Bitcoin is up 431 at 57.9. I'm making money. Look at that. I might be up to $10.50 or something. Somebody gifted me $10 worth the other day, for those of you who didn't catch that. All right, let's see. It's the only reason, it's the only Bitcoin I've ever owned, my $10 gifting. Okay, we have got, the dollar. Here we go, the dollar. Oh boy. The dollar. We have got the dollar up against the euro, down against the yen. I'm sorry, opposite of that, completely backwards. The dollar is, the Japanese yen is down. The euro is no, the dollar is down against the yen. It is up against the euro. I'm sorry. I had that one of those moments. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm almost as old as Joe Biden. Yeah, it's true. Well, not that close. Anyway, okay, so let's go back and check Tesla one more time to see what's happening here. We've got them. Tesla is now up 5.54. That's about the same as it was. It is definitely doing one of these right now. It's gone up and now it's flatlining. I mean, flat in terms of its improvement, not showing momentum in either direction. And then, okay, let's once again mention the Boomer Mama video. What I did with the Boomer Mama video is we talked about her investment strategy. We had talked about how she sees things right now. Then we talked about her professional career, what she's done in her career, where she got to where she is right now, how she got to America, about her decision to become a citizen. We talked about how she loves America. We talked about her family. She's got 5 kids. She loves Santa Barbara, but she's been all over the world. Anyway, it's a phenomenal and fun interview. I highly recommend you take a look, and that is why I'm going to put the card right there so you can easily get over there. And then please hit like, subscribe, and notify, and you'll be seeing me. Lots of great shows coming up. Are you kidding? Brian White, and then Brian Wang tonight, and then Larry Goldberg in the morning, and then Sir Basher, and holy mackerel, and then news over the weekend. Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend, and it has been great talking to you.